So I could retire. I was so into Sakai 2.9. I want to see everybody running Sakai 2.9. And I thought, if we go off into the sunset and we're all running Sakai 2.9, then at least we're running a nice piece of software and we can do selective release and online content and do some MOOCs and do all kinds of whatever. So this is a good time to stop, a good time to retire. Or perhaps not. So what might we see next? What might we see from a community that has a great piece of software? What might we see from a community that has a piece of software in Sakai 2.9 that we actually wouldn't have to put much more effort into? We could just sit on it for a while. We could sit and make profit. Of course, we're nonprofit, but we could make nonprofit for a while. So what might we think of doing next? Well, with Sakai 2.9, we could actually relax. We could sit on the beach and we could say, that's a nice piece of software, and watch all the schools upgrade to 2.9 and just smile warmly and fix a few bugs here and there and sit back. But when you have a solid product and you have it in your hand, your brain changes. If you believe in something, but if in the moment it's in good shape, that's when you want to become more aggressive. You don't want to sit back and relax. You can take more risks when the product that you have is a solid product. You can be bold. You can take more risks. So we, I think, are slowly but surely seeing a situation where we are seeing people in our community taking more risks. There are some rumblings, and you can kind of start sensing this. Just some gurglings. We're breaking the build a little more often. We're doing crazy stuff. So like Amsterdam, Montreal, UPMC, and others are like turning this into a MOOC platform. Wow, we're going to have to fiddle around a bit to make this thing a MOOC platform. But that's okay. We can, because we got a great product. 2 new search technology. We haven't touched search since 2.5. I think most people have search turned off because it's just a little weird and it breaks and hangs. No one's been willing to touch search for a long time. 2.5 is like 5 years ago. But now we have 2 searches that are actively being brought into the trunk. Oxford's got Solar and RSmart's got Elasticsearch. 2 extremely modern and powerful search engines. And both of them are being put into the trunk at the same time in a coordinated fashion. Prior to 2.9, we probably would have said, oh, back off. That's a little scary. You might break something. Now we're like, let's try it. We'll all figure it out. If you break it, we'll fix it. Right? So it's a completely different attitude. For example, I just checked in the trunk 3 or 4 weeks ago, a complete replacement for the iframe tool, the Sakai web tool. Did you notice? Nah. Did I break something? Maybe I did. But somebody's going to figure it out. We can take more risks, right? So we put this thing in. So that's a great feature. That's going to make this fewer iframes, better configurability, pop-ups work better. A whole bunch of things are all better in that. We can take the risk, meaning that if I did something wrong in that, other eyes have spare time to help me fix it. And just here's one JIRA ticket, Kernel 1011. We didn't make that number up. It is Site Surface Caching Performance Improvement. 5 years ago, the site caching is the craziest code inside of Sakai. It's like changing the microcode in your automobile while you're in the middle of a race. So we tried to fix this like in 2.5, and somebody made a one-line change to it and crashed. I think it was actually Cape Town servers crashed. And we backed that out so fast, and literally for 5 years, everyone has been afraid to go into that code. Well, Noah Bottomer went into that code for a few months and just said, you know what? I'm going to break it all. I'm going to take it all apart, and I'm going to put it back together, and I'm going to put it back together right. And everyone, again, if this was before 2.9, we'd say, Noah, stop. You'll break it. We can't afford it. What if you mess it up? We don't have time to help you. But now it's different. We do have time to help. So this is now in trunk as well. This has a tremendous potential to increase performance on overall Sakai performance. I don't know, 10, 20, 30% in one modification. And a modification that in some ways wasn't all that difficult. But what's difficult is it's not hard to write 95% or 98% of it. It's that 2% that requires other people to test, other people to look at, other people to mentally keep track that if they see something weird, let's go check to see if this other thing is why. So this is where you can't be rushing. You got to be a little more relaxed when you take these more risky kinds of activities. So in the future, I don't know when, but we can attack larger problems. We can attack problems that were hitherto terrifyingly complex if we work together and have more eyes on one problem, right? If we have 10 people and they're working on 10 things, they all have to be small things. But if we have like 4 people working on the same thing with different roles, we can attack larger things. And what we can do is we can sort of like say, you know what, for the next few months, you're going to work on this. And we're all going to watch and we're going to test it. We're going to make sure you're okay. You'll finish it and then we'll check it all out. And then we'll get a different group of people working on a different thing. So you can take more risky things. You get a more collective focus on fewer larger things, like getting rid of sticky sessions. Wouldn't it be nice to get rid of sticky sessions? How hard might it be? You know what? We don't even know how hard it is because we're afraid to start looking at it. But I bet 3 people in our community are smart enough to fix it. Really. And so those are the kind of things that we have time to look at. So what might be this Sakai X? I don't know. It's some future version. It's going to be sort of a big, fast, powerful version, a scalable version of our CLE. Millions of users. Maybe make it so the thing dynamically adds instances up and down based on load. Make it so upgrades happen continuously. Make it so migrations and database conversions happen continuously. Maybe we even move to the point where there could be software as a service that you just have elastic expansion and contraction. What kind of things will we have to do inside of Sakai to make it so that that would work in a feasible manner? When? When are we going to do this? I don't know. I have no idea when. But I do think that we collectively will reach a moment where we'll realize that it's time to do it. It's time to jump in. It is time to take the big risk. It is time to fix the big things that need fixing in our product and take the product truly to the next level, right? Take it truly to the next level without losing any functionality whatsoever. If we do, it might take 2 years to get there. We'll make these bold changes, and we'll test the bold changes, and we'll land the bold changes, and then we'll put those bold changes in production after a real thorough QA. So I don't really have any resources. I'm not going to personally make this happen by myself. This is just an idea. And I'm not saying we're supposed to do this on a certain day. I hope that at our next meeting in San Diego, we talk about it some more and imagine, is it time? I mean, I just want to bring the discussion forward that says maybe we should be thinking about these things. So I'm not going to force it. I'm just throwing this idea out. I hope you guys talk about it. And I hope that I get a chance to hook up with all of you through Google Chat or something like that. And so thank you for your time, and I look forward to your questions and comments.